What is good, Tesla family? It's Ray J back with another video, and in this one, I'm going to be talking about the one and only Tesla stock and break down what on earth is going on with the share price. I'm also going to be doing some in-depth technical analysis and give you guys my price prediction for tomorrow, which is Tuesday, as the market was closed in commemorance of Memorial Day. I also hope that each and every one of you are having a fantastic Memorial Day as we essentially remember and honor those that made the ultimate sacrifice. Now, for this video, before I get started and give any price predictions for Tuesday, I do have to mention a couple of things real quick. The first thing is I'm not a financial planner, so please don't take this as financial advice. And also, if you guys can, please smash the like button if you want to see more videos like this. It not only benefits me, it benefits the entire Tesla community as a whole. And the last thing is, if you guys can, please check out the Webull link down below in the description. If you sign up for Webull, the link down below, and deposit any amount of money into the account, you are guaranteed 6 free stocks, each worth up to $2,000. And you could always sell these 6 free stocks for cash and use that cash to buy some Tesla shares for free in this limited time offer that ends in just 10 days. So please check it out before they run out. With that out of the way, let's get on with the video. So looking at Tesla, we can see some pretty good moves. If you don't remember, or if you weren't listening from before, we got this nice bounce off that 620 range, and since then we've been pushing very hard to the upside. We see this really nice pattern. We see these very bullish looking candles that push up, then we see some consolidation, a push up, consolidation, another push up, and then we just continue to push to the upside from there. Now, Tesla moving up depends on what happens to the overall market too, because we are following a, how should I say, similar trend that the overall market is following. You can see the SPY very similar, nice push, some consolidation, a bit of a drop, followed by some more bullish price action, and it just continued from there. And if I go all the way down to where the Nasdaq is, right? Same thing. We're just pushing up and up and up. Now, the question on everyone's minds is, are we done pushing up? Are we about to see a reversal? And from a technical perspective, I'm not seeing that quite yet. It does look like we're kind of in this channel right here that formed from the Nasdaq, but there is not a sign or like a key indication that we're done from here, right? I still see some room for more upside, and that's for many different factors. Now, looking at the Nasdaq, we can see we're seeing some bullish candles. If you don't understand that, look at this right here. This would be a bearish signal. Whether you see a hanging man kind of like this, a shooting star, the gravestone doji or a bearish spinning top, these long wicks that kind of form kind of like this, that would be another very keen indicator that we're about to see some reversals, right? And right now, we haven't quite seen that just yet. Kind of like if you go back to like right here, when we were pushing up, we got this top that essentially formed. It doesn't look like we're quite there yet. It looks like there's a little bit more room for us to keep going. And I do think that what's most likely the case is some consolidation or a little bit more upside for the remainder of the week. And that doesn't mean that we're just going to go to all-time highs instantly. As I told you guys before, I do think we're going to see a continuation of this trend, and things are looking kind of bullish for Tesla once again. Now, when it comes to the SPY, and here's the big thing you need to be looking out for the SPY, we're in this essentially, how should I say, key zone, I would say, to the point where we're getting closer to that 420. And I know that's a pretty funny number, but what's a very strange coincidence is when a lot of stocks have key support and resistance levels. If I go all the way back, let me try to find exactly where that was. But there were instances where the SPY would drop. I'm sure you guys remember that. And we would get those nice bounces off that 420 range. So we have a very key zone right there. And I do anticipate that the SPY is probably going to push up a little bit going into tomorrow, maybe the later days. And we might have to see how this thing responds to that 420 range, which means it is possible we're getting close to that top. But I personally think there's a little bit more room for us to run. We could even get closer to 430 before getting a rejection. But as of right now, like I said before, I think bulls have the edge as of right now. Volume is still continuing, and there are not conclusive signs yet that we're seeing a bearish reversal. So I would anticipate more green for the next, I would say, week or two as of right now, and things are looking a lot better. So excuse me, for Tesla, okay, I have the very key zones you've got to be looking out for. If this thing starts pushing, if it magically starts pushing harder again, going into tomorrow or later, we have resistance at $776. We have resistance at around 800. And if that stops us, we can keep going. We have a lot of space to actually push up, fill the gap all the way up in that 858 range. So it's very possible this thing actually pushes to the 800s, and I do think that's most likely what's going to play out. Now, the market was oversold for some time. It was essentially long overdue for us to get this temporary relief bounce. And it looks like it's going to continue, in my opinion, based off the trend we're forming. Now, to what degree are we going to run? It's very hard to calculate that perfectly. If we end up dropping, okay, be on the lookout for that 752 range. We have some support over there, but it could break. And then we have 732, 719, and 701. Very, very key zones. Very, very important for you to remember this because there's also a gap down here. I don't think that's going to get filled just yet, but just to let you know that if this thing does drop, if you see Tesla go to like 740, 730, all of a sudden, we have a gap that happens to be around 711. I'm not 711, 710, around 707, around that range. So it is possible for us to drop down if we start dropping. Now, what is most likely going to happen, right? I talked about the possibilities, I talked about support levels and resistance levels, but what is most likely going to happen for tomorrow? And like I said before, I think upside is most likely what is going to come. I'm going to show you exactly why I believe that. Now, from a technical perspective, if you look at the RSI, MACD, and our EMAs, on the 2 hour time frame, a nice curl. We're about to get that crossover from the 1348 EMA uh, over the 2 hour time frames, 2 hour candles. RSI is kind of in that very strong overbought range. Not necessarily a bad thing in Tesla's context. Tesla just likes to keep going. We got this nice movement from the signal line and the MACD showing some very, very bullish signs as well. So it still looks like we're in this upward trend and it most likely should continue going into next week. Now, as for Tesla, what do I predict is going to happen? Well, if I can anticipate anything, I don't know if we're going to be as explosive for the upcoming trading week as we were last week because we are in a position where we have a shorter week and there is still a lot of momentum that may not be the same. So, what I would predict is I would expect a nice push into opening, and Tesla might actually get a reject around 776. Probably not, though. It's possible it pushes even harder, and then we might get a slight rejection. We might start kind of like dropping like this and after that, I would anticipate a nice push a little bit later around that 800 range. I wouldn't be surprised if we actually touched 800, maybe got a rejection from there, and ultimately closed. I wouldn't be surprised if we close around, what is that, 790, 780 range. It's very possible for us to have a nice green Tuesday, and we might see some consolidation closer to the end of the day, kind of like what we saw from before. And things right now are still looking pretty darn good. So I believe it's very possible for Tesla to push all the way up to 800, get a slight rejection from there because there's strong resistance there, maybe close around that 790 range. It's very possible. I do think the trend is going to continue. And as I mentioned before, as of right now, we're not seeing these bearish reversal indicators just yet. I'm not seeing a hanging man just yet, or followed by some like downside or a shooting star. I'm not seeing these just yet. So things are still looking good for Tesla. Now, I mentioned this before. I see this as a temporary relief rally. I'm not saying it's going to last forever, but this is a good opportunity to make some good plays. So be very careful with how you play Tesla. If you are planning on swing trading or scalping, be very careful. And also remember, look, there is going to be downside in the next upcoming months, in my opinion. I think that's very probable, but it's not the end of the world. This company is fundamentally strong. Give it time and it will make a comeback. I'm very, very confident. With that out of the way, please enjoy the rest of your weekend. I think upside is more likely for tomorrow than downside. And that is essentially what my prediction is. Don't just trade based off that. Look at the other things I mentioned and be prepared for anything because sometimes the market can be kind of unpredictable. But like I said before, upside, I think a green day is most likely what will come, and things are looking great for Tesla. So thank you. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Please, please, please take care. Tesla to the moon and peace out.